everybody, and welcome to the Show and Tell Show. On today's show, we literally have something for everybody. We have left no stone unturned in an effort to bring you the very best show and tell segments you've possibly ever seen. Today, we're going to talk about beauty, nutrition, pets, cultural traditions, and helping others. We have a lot of ground to cover in just 28 minutes, so let's get started. Everybody out there, sit back, relax, and enjoy the Show and Tell Show. I'm gonna go.
You're the song in my heart. You're the song in my heart. You're the song in my heart. You're the song.
If you look in any magazine today or turn on a TV, you can't miss a huge beauty trend in our midst: eyelashes. Our first guest today is Alyssa Anderson from My Beauty Mark Makeup Academy, who is going to talk with us about eyelash enhancements. Welcome, Alyssa.
Hi, thank you, Caroline.
So what are the options for people wanting to make a big impact with their eyelashes?
Well, you have two options mainly. One would be easy false lashes on a daily basis. The other would be eyelash extensions.
Okay. And what you're going to show us the eyelash application on Valerie?
Correct. So to begin with, we're going to lightly be loosening our lashes from the actual packaging. We're going to take a bit of adhesive, this one with a brush tip. We're going to apply a nice even layer with a small amount of product right along the lash band here. Right as our lash glue is starting to get a bit tacky, we're going to give our lash band a little bit of a bend so it fits nice and snug against the lash line. We're going to have our model close our eyes. I'm going to start this application right in the middle of the lash line. Next, I'm going to tuck in this outer corner here. And lastly, we can tuck in our inner corner, keeping sure to keep them as close to the lash line as possible. Give a couple seconds just to ensure that that glue is nice and dry. And then you should be all set.
And the eyelashes you can buy at a drugstore or a beauty supply store, are those pretty much standard? They can fit anyone?
For the most part, eyelashes are actually created to fit the biggest possible eye, not every eye. So there is a level of trimming that might be necessary for your individual eye shape.
So it's okay to trim?
It is okay to trim. It's necessary, actually.
Okay. So this looks great. Another option is eyelash extensions.
Correct.
What are those like?
So eyelash extensions are a little bit more of a permanent option.
Okay.
So you're going to have your eyelash extensions anywhere from about 2 to 4 weeks. So they are individual little lash hairs that would be placed along your natural lashes to give a much fuller, longer effect.
Okay. And how long do they typically last?
2 to 4 weeks, depending on how well you're able to take care of them.
Okay. And you're allowed to wash your face while you have the extensions on?
Correct,
but
yes.
not with false eyelashes?
Not with false eyelashes, no. These are intended for a much more temporary positioning. For individual lashes that are extensions, you definitely have to be careful, but you can shower, you can wash your face, you can live your life just as normally.
Great. And Valerie, you look beautiful. Do they feel heavy at all?
No, not at all.
It looks great. And so eyelash enhancements are really good for people of any age, is that right? Because our eyelashes change as we get older, is that right?
Correct. As we start to mature, we experience hair loss in all different forms, including our eyebrows and our eyelashes. So for somebody who doesn't necessarily have the time to devote to applying false lashes on a daily basis, individual lash extensions would be a really great option.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Alyssa, and thank you, Valerie.
Thank you.
Next, we are going to turn from an American beauty trend to an ancient but still widely used Indian beauty tradition, henna art. I visited Vinita's Beauty and Threading Studio to learn all about it. Let's take a look. Hi, Vinita.
Hi.
So what is henna art?
Henna art is from ancient India. It is used on any good occasion happening in the house, maybe marriages, engagements, birthday parties, or anything good happening, because it's supposed to be a good omen. When they have it on their hand, they think that everything will go right and
Like good luck.
Good luck, yes, absolutely. All nationalities love henna tattoos because people who go for permanent tattoos, they want to try this before having permanent tattoo because this color will go in 2 to 3 weeks. So if they don't like the pattern, they can move to another one or have different ones if they get bored of one pattern.
Yeah.
So when they're going to the beach, all nationalities, they come and get henna tattoos on the back, on the forearm, or like a bracelet on the anklet. Actually, Sapna is going to put henna tattoo. She's a very good henna artist.
They say that you should always have nice underwear on, just in case you have an accident and you have to go to the hospital and things like that. If people see you in your underwear, so you should always wear nice underwear. That's what they say. Also, you should always have your nails done, just in case you're doing some sort of segment where you have to get your nails done. So Sapna is our henna artist for today, who is going to be demonstrating how henna is applied. So Sapna, you've just put something on here. What did you?
I put like this oil. It's called eucalyptus oil.
Eucalyptus oil?
Yes. So this is I apply before I apply the henna. So henna can come a nice color, darker color.
So it helps to kind of set
Kind
the
of to
color?
set the color.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. So I'm gonna do freelance for you.
Okay. As opposed to,
Some people come with the design,
Okay.
and I will exactly copy that design. If somebody will bring with
like a tattoo artist.
tattoo artist,
Similar,
yes,
okay.
similar like that.
Do you get any crazy designs? Like, do people come in with something?
Oh
really-
yeah,
really-
sometimes they come with dragon, which is I'm like I'm not a.
I don't go that far.
That far, yeah. I mean, henna.
So that inside there is henna, and you made that henna like yesterday, or
It's a fresh made, yeah.
so once this is done, should I put like a plastic bag over it, or is it okay just to let it?
Just
dry?
let it sit and
Try
dry.
not to
Yeah,
use the hand.
yeah. Try not to use that.
Don't go home and start washing dishes. And so once the henna dries, a day later, flick it off.
Flick off.
So just flick with your finger.
Yeah, it just you'll see it start flicking off, and then when it's flicking off, like you can remove it with your hand, and then stain will be there, and then next day color will come more darker and getting darker and darker, and slowly it's getting lighter.
And then the best way to preserve the color is with oil again?
Oil, yeah, you can
Okay.
put mustard oil,
Mustard
a little bit
oil.
of mustard oil.
Okay. Is this something that you trained to learn, or is it some natural talent?
It's like I always love henna to do it on my hand. When since I'm a little girl,
Yeah.
and we have back of our house there's a little tree, so we smash and make
You made your own henna?
yeah our henna. So I used to.
Okay, so one day.
One day,
One day
yeah.
and flick it off.
Yes,
And then oil. Mustard
on
oil.
oil mustard oil if you have some.
Yeah.
I don't.
So today is 2 days after the henna was applied to my hand, and this is how it looks today. It's so beautiful, and it probably would look a little darker if I had been a little less active, because the henna does fall off on its own as it dries. Now we are going to shift gears and talk about a very important topic for many of our viewers: senior nutrition. Whether you are over the age of 65 or are caring for a relative or have a neighbor who is, or if you are ever going to be over the age of 65, this is great information for all of us. Maxine Vo from Home Instead Senior Care is here to scratch the surface on senior nutrition. Maxine, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me here today, Carolyn.
Sure. So everyone knows that good nutrition is important at any age. Why is it so important to give special attention to nutrition for people over the age of 65?
Well, in actuality, 55 is actually considered a senior. And so once we hit 55, we really should start to pay attention more to proper nutrition as we age, because of certain factors that influence our eating habits, such as lower activity levels, a slower metabolism, changes in our appetite, and a diminished sense of taste and smell.
What are some basic guidelines to get people started on managing their diets better?
One thing is to reduce sodium intake, monitor fat intake, eat more fiber, drink more liquids, water especially,
Okay.
and eating less sugars and processed foods.
Okay. A lot of people find it hard or just are not interested in making complex meals because of medication or illness or just don't want to cook for themselves. What do you recommend in those cases?
To make meals more interesting, try eating a variety of fruits and vegetables, planning meals out, and adding herbs to foods that are prepared to give it more flavor. Making meals simple, such as just soup, salads, sandwiches with fresh chicken or fresh turkey, and very simply made meat dishes.
Okay. All right. Sometimes it's just plain harder to get out of the house to get to the grocery store, and some people can find themselves without close family or friends nearby to help them. What do you recommend?
They can try Meals on Wheels, which is usually by their local senior center. They can look up the information on the internet. Hiring a private chef if it's affordable for them to do so. Hiring a caregiver from an agency who can come and actually go grocery shopping with them and also prepare meals. Having family maybe cook some meals in advance that they can just reheat and eat. And or just using a service that can actually drop off meals that they can just cook that can last for a whole week. And then most importantly, try eating meals with a friend, a family member, or a neighbor to make mealtime more enjoyable.
Great. Those are great ideas. So we have a few questions from our viewers. The first question is from John Arioa.
Hi, Maxine. I know I need to increase the amount of liquids in my diet. How much of this should be water?
I would say about 6 to 8 glasses of liquids a day. At least 4 to 6 glasses should be water, and the other 2 glasses can be juice, coffee, or soups.
Okay. The next question is from Patricia Nelson.
Hi, Maxine. Which would be a better way to get calcium in my diet? Green leafy vegetables or milk?
Leafy greens are a great source of vitamins and minerals, but they do not contain 100% of the calcium that we need. For example, 1 cup of spinach is only has 30 milligrams of calcium in it, which does not meet our 1,000 milligram daily recommendation. And so it's important to supplement either with the vitamin supplement or with cheese, yogurt, milk, or almond milk or soy milk.
Okay. And the last question is from Elaine Kokubu.
Hi, Maxine. Is it important to buy yogurt with probiotics?
All commercial yogurts are fortified with probiotics, which is great. And probiotics, they balance our gut, boost our immune system, and help us to properly digest our foods. So it's very important to have probiotics in our diet. And look for a count of at least 10 billion when you're purchasing.
10 billion?
10 billion.
Billion.
10 billion, yes.
Okay. Okay, Maxine. Well, thank you so much. We could obviously go on talking about this for days. Please come back and talk with us again.
I will. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, thank you. From seniors now to kids, do you have an aspiring swashbuckler or Jedi Knight in your household? We found a great way to entice kids to learn focus, strategy, and honor in the noble sport of fencing.
So fencing is a sport where 2 people holding a blade, or what we call a weapon, in our hands compete for a 5-point game or a 10-point game or 15-point game. It's featured in the Olympics as well as at the collegiate level and high school and elementary schools as well. In fencing, in Olympic fencing, there's 3 different weapons: a saber, a foil, and an epee. For kids, first, it's a lot of fun. Right? You get to have a sword in your hands, and you're wearing a mask, and you got a white uniform, and so on. Everybody has a fascination about Jedi and Pirates of the Caribbean and so on. So it's a fantastic way for kids to get introduced to an organized game that is competed at very high level, collegiate, Olympics, and world championship levels.
I've been fencing for about 3.5 years. I started when I was about 9 years old in 4th grade. Well, there's a friend of mine around the same age as me, and she was fencing saber as well. And I was like, okay, I might get into this. So it's like whacking people with a sword, pretty fun. It's not as common as any other sport, because like people expect you to say, oh, I play basketball, I play baseball, but fencing is not like what they would expect. The hardest part about fencing is that like you have to, it's like 90% strategy and like 10% being athletic. So like basketball, you want to be tall, or wrestling, you want to be buff. But then fencing, you don't need to be any of these, because like it's the strategy is the most important thing about it.
I've been fencing for about a year now. I started when I was 12.
And what did you start? What inspired you to start taking?
Well, it was mainly my brother because he has started before me, and it just seemed fun, so decided to catch along. Yeah. What I like most about fencing is it's not only fun, but it gives you a good workout as well at the same time. The hardest part is varying what you're going to do in the middle of a match, because you can't always do the same thing, so you have to switch it up. Just, you have to have good mental skills to figure out what your opponent is going to do. So once you start, you should probably commit and try as hard as you can.
Okay. So before we start, mask off. The fencers salute each other and salutes the referee. And mask on. So we're going to let the fencers decide whatever they want to do. Then we'll interpret who should get the point. Ready? Fence. Oh, okay. So in the final, there was a lot of stuff that happened before, but all that matters at the end, the fencer on the left is initiating the forward attack sequence, and the fencer on the right ignores that and attacks into this attack. So even though there's two lights, the fencer on the left has what's called the right of way, and the fencer on the left gets the point. So that concludes our first bout. So the fencers take their masks off. We salute each other. We salute the referee. And then we come together and shake hands. And we usually say good fencing. Okay.
The advice I would give to anyone who wants to do fencing is you gotta keep practicing, and you gotta keep being determined, because like fencing is kind of a sport that you want to be serious about. It's really fun. You make new friends, and you get to hit people with a sword. It's like a win-win situation.
And for more information about kids fencing, you can visit zfencinglosangeles.com. Next, we have Jamie Holman with us in the studio for our Helping Others segment. Jamie is with the Pasadena Humane Society and SPCA. And Jamie, today we're going to talk about fostering animals. Welcome to the Show and Tell Show.
Thanks for having me, Caroline.
So people know that adopting animals is a great way to both save an animal's life and enrich our home lives. What is foster caring for animals, and why is it so important?
Well, foster caring for animals is temporarily opening up your home and your heart to animals in need. And so you'll temporarily care for a shelter animal in your own home, either until they're ready to go back to the shelter for adoption, or in some cases, you'll keep that animal until they get adopted into a new home directly from your own home.
Mm-hmm. Now, what are the different kinds of fostering?
Well, there's lots of different types of fostering. Mm-hmm. Some people choose to foster adult animals who are in the shelter, and either just to you can give the animal a short break from the shelter, mm-hmm. or sometimes, again, you'll keep them until they find their new adoptive home. Mm-hmm. Other times you'll foster animals that are very young, that are too young for adoption. Mm-hmm. There's also...
what's fospice?
Ooh, fospice. Sure, fospice is, it's kind of like hospice, mm-hmm. Like people hospice. Yeah. Fospice would be if there's an animal that comes in that is really elderly or has a terminal medical condition. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people will actually kind of provide end-of-life care for these animals. So rather than being, sadly euthanized in the shelter, they'll take them in and just provide end-of-life care and make the last days, weeks, months, whatever it is of their life, the animal will be in a home surrounded with love.
So people can foster all kinds of animals, including wildlife if they're specially trained. So why is the greatest need for fostering with kittens?
Well, every spring and summer, shelters around the country experience kitten season. And so shelters are just inundated with kittens that are considered too young for adoption. So in order to be old enough for adoption or big enough for adoption, kittens need to weigh 2 pounds, and that usually occurs when they're around 2 months of age. And that's because they need to be spayed or neutered in order to be adopted, and you can't safely spay or neuter a kitten until they hit 2 pounds. And so without having foster parents to care for these little tiny ones, we can't, our shelters aren't really equipped generally to care for them on site because it's kind of round-the-clock care. When they're really young, they need to be bottle fed every couple of hours. And then as they get older, the care for the kittens is just, it's a lot more than most shelters can handle on site. So
limited resources.
Limited resources, exactly. So shelters rely on foster parents to take these little ones into their homes. Usually it's anywhere between 2 to 8 weeks or so that you're caring for the kittens until they are big enough, strong enough, healthy enough to go back for adoption.
Great. Well, Jamie, thank you so much. This is great information.
Thank you very much for having me.
For more information about fostering in your area, please contact your local animal shelter. And for information about the Pasadena Humane Society and SPCA, you can visit pasadenahumane.org. And we continue our love of discussing all things animals with our pet segment on Kitty Bungalow, Charm School for Wayward Cats, a grassroots organization aiming to retrain and find homes for Los Angeles area cats. Colonies, or packs of cats, begin to form in neighborhoods when homeless cats who are not spayed or neutered begin to eat and live together and have litters of kittens. Did you know that 2 unaltered cats over the course of 7 years can have up to 420,000 cats? Kitty Bungalow, Charm School for Wayward Cats, works towards solving this epidemic with a very special trap, neuter, release, and kitten adoption curriculum.
Kitty Bungalow Charm School for Wayward Cats is what my husband and I call our accident. I never set out to have a nonprofit or run a charity or even have cats. I was a producer and I was in the entertainment industry pretty much all my life from when I was a child on. And my husband and I bought a house, and we were not told when we bought the house that there was a colony of feral cats living in the backyard. So we started finding kittens, and we started picking up the kittens and finding them homes. As I tell my people when I'm doing an orientation, at the time I was not a cat person, I wasn't an animal person, but I was a human being. And I think that when we talk about being humane, it does have the word human in it, and I feel like that's what attracted me. There was a problem that was happening, and I felt like I had a bit of a solution. So Kitty Bungalow is a 100% street cat rescue. We are a feral cat rescue all the way. TNR is the process of going out and setting humane traps and then taking the adult cats and getting them fixed. They get their vaccines, they get flea treatment, they get everything that they need at that time with the vet. and the kittens then come into the facility where we socialize them and adopt them out. TNR for us in Los Angeles is very different than animal control in Los Angeles, because currently in LA there's an injunction for the city participating in TNR. So when a cat gets trapped by LA Animal Control, or if you trap a cat and take it to the LA City shelter, those cats are now dead. In Los Angeles, 76% of all the animals killed in the shelters are kittens 8 weeks and under. So we are putting our need to the areas that need us most. The adult cats can go back and live in the areas where they've been living. If they've made it 5-6 years, they can make it more time there as well. So we're trying to get the kittens off the street and into homes. We will probably adopt out 400 cats this year, and we will spay and neuter another 1,500. So Cabaret is a big Broadway-style celebrity musical benefit. We get celebrities from TV and film to sing and dance about cats. We've done it for 5 years, and it's been extremely successful, and it's been great fun. There are so many celebrities that are huge animal lovers, and we've had wonderful support for them. So it's a great show if you love musicals, and it's a great support to animal organizations. We have high school students that help to prep and get everything ready and the traps ready. The trapping day, we have a group of trappers. When the cats are trapped, they actually come back to the bungalow, and we have an outdoor TNR space, which is closed off for the elements, where the cats stay overnight. In the morning, they go into the vet and they're fixed. And then that evening, another set of volunteers brings them back. They stay overnight, and the next morning, another set of volunteers returns them to their home in the return.
I went to a trapping following my visit to the shelter, and it was really interesting to see the support of the community, as well as the dedication of the volunteers to the welfare of these stray cats and enabling them to live out their lives naturally. You can see footage from the trapping on our website, theshowandtellshow.tv. And for information on Kitty Bungalow Charm School for Wayward Cats and their Trap Neuter Release program, you can visit kittybungalow.org. Well, that's all the time we have for today, everybody. What an action-packed episode that was. Thank you to all of our in-studio guests today, Valerie, Alyssa, Maxine, and Jamie. See you next time, everybody, on the Show and Tell Show. Bye-bye.
Got a song in my heart. Got a song in my heart. My mind is dawning, how a day could be so much. You're a spark in the fire, you make your luck, you know you want to come and play with me, yeah, that's